Welcome to the Sports Show with Bob Spino, where we're talking about the 2021 NFL Draft. Bob, what do you think about this year's draft so far?
Well, it seems like Jacksonville did great. And, I'm actually looking over, they graded these things. They said they got an A plus, and I kind of agree with that because Lawrence is a great player, and they actually got a great running back, and they're going to get a wide receiver today, I believe. So, they're looking really, really good. But they have a long way to go. On the other hand, I mean, they were the worst team for a reason, and they have all these picks for a reason. What do you think, Rob?
I think they did well. I think Lawrence is a generational talent. I do think he's going to have a great career. I don't know if it's going to be entirely with Jacksonville, but
Right, you never
I
know.
think he'll make an immediate impact. I believe he will start from day one. And when all is said and done, if he can stay healthy, he could be one of the all-time greats. I mean, he's very athletic. His athleticism is kind of underrated, in my opinion. He's 6'6", see over everybody, but he's fast, nimble, and he's just so sharp with his throws. I mean, he looked ready from the jump when he went to Clemson. I'm personally ecstatic to see him go off into the NFL and with ETN as well. But speaking of ETN, I actually don't expect him to have much of a career in terms of being a star. I think he'll be a role player as long as he stays healthy, but I don't think he's going to be a standout in the long run. I personally believe ETN should have left maybe even a year, maybe even 2 years ago. I think staying actually might have hurt his stock a little, and
Sometimes it can.
obviously cost him some money because I have no doubt as a sophomore he could have left and gotten drafted in the first round. But I could be wrong. I found it interesting that he's going to end up with Lawrence. So when I saw that happen, I was like, you know what, maybe ETN will do a little better playing behind his old quarterback. But still, I'm not sold. I have to see it to believe it. I think ETN will kind of just fit in the ranks amongst running backs and not be a standout.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know about Lawrence. I know you're pretty high on him. My brother is, but every time I watch him, and my brother always said he won every level, even little league apparently. But every time I watch him, I still kind of wonder. I don't know if he's going to be that guy. I know a lot of people do, and everybody wanted him. And Jets would have had him if they didn't win those last couple games. But I'm not sure, Rob. I really am not sure. We'll see though. And Jacksonville, I mean, they have a lot more work to do. They were pretty bad this past year. So
Well, that's the thing, Bob. It's going to be a test for Trevor Lawrence because he's going to go from playing with players that are better than everybody else to basically playing with inferior players in comparison to the teams they're playing. So it's
right.
he's really gonna it's really gonna show what he's really made out of now that he's going to be at a disadvantage with the talent gap of the other players. So, but I still think he's going to overcome it, and I think immediately they could be looking at like a 9-7 first year with him. That's my prediction. I think they'll go
that
nine and
that's a
seven
that's a
right away.
really big jump. Actually, I guess they'll go 9-8 since there's 17 games now. But
That's right. Totally forgot about that.
yeah, and I mean, if depending on who they play, maybe they can even squeeze 10 in there if that's what you think. But I don't know. That's a big jump, even for he's a rookie, so I don't know. I still don't know about him. I know, and a lot of people get this wrong because there's no experts. There's no such thing really. And I know a lot of people at ESPN thought that Mahomes was a high school quarterback, and the Chiefs shouldn't get him. So that just goes to show you how smart they are. Some of them, anyway. But I'm not sure. I mean, they gave him an A plus on this grading, but we'll see. I guess for them, they're better than they were as it stands now. And it's only the first night. They're going to get other players, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, what do you
Yeah,
think
we'll
about
see how it goes. So we're going to run down the picks, folks.
Yeah,
And so
right,
obviously that's the first pick. I do
right.
believe he might have been the first ever number one recruit going into college. getting drafted at the number one spot. I think he did make history with that. So with the second pick, uh, Zach Wilson, the quarterback out of Brigham Young, he went to the Jets. What do you
Yeah.
think about that pick?
Well, I actually talked to a Jet assistant coach before the draft, and he told me they were going to get him. And I mean, I know everybody knew about it, but even if you know about it and don't know somebody on the inside, you don't know. You're guessing. But he told me right off the bat they were going to get him, and I like him. He can throw. He's pocket passer. He's got a great arm. I don't like the fact people are saying he's like Mahomes throwing it behind his back, because as a rule, this is not being a point guard. This is being a quarterback. You're not supposed to throw it behind your back. The fact Mahomes does it proves he's great. But the thing about the Jets is they seem to be cursed in their own way. No matter what they do, it never works. I didn't think Darnold was the right guy. He led the nation in interceptions.
No, I didn't either. And a
No.
lot of Jets fans were all hyping him up like he was going to be
Yeah.
the next big thing. And I was like, I don't see it.
I don't see it either. And I didn't see it. And I was right because, the guy led the nation in interceptions his last year in college. And I don't know if I want that on my team. I really don't.
Yeah, where did he end up going? Carolina?
Yeah, I believe that's where they sent him. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. They had to they got picks for him, I believe.
So Bob, we actually have a guest joining us on the live stream in the chat, and he's asking a question.
Yeah.
He wants to know, do you see the Jets drafting another tight end or possibly trading for Zach Ertz?
They could. They've got a lot of picks now, so they really could draft for a tight end. It wouldn't shock me at all. And Philly seems to be, wheeling and dealing right now, so that's not out of the realm. I can definitely see it. I just don't know if they want to give up Ertz, but they're rebuilding, so yeah, it's not out of the realm at all. That definitely can happen.
So my opinion of the Zach Wilson pick is it's a terrible pick. Once again for the Jets. Yes, I don't. I don't recall hearing much of anything about this guy the year before with the season we just had. All of a sudden, BYU did have a good year in the funky COVID year, but to propel him to a top 5 draft pick, you're putting a lot of faith in someone who really they do play kind of a mid-major schedule. I mean, they're an independent now. They're not in the Mountain West or the WAC anymore. They did well. I just think it was a big gamble on the Jets' part, and I don't know if I would have passed up the Alabama quarterback or the Ohio State quarterback for the BYU quarterback. So I anticipate.
Are we going to get into that? Because I have some opinions about the Ohio State guy, but go ahead.
All right. So yeah. I think the Jets will fail again, and you won't. He'll fizzle out, and they won't have success. I think it was a mistake drafting him. Any other thoughts on the second pick, Bob?
Well, I mean, you are a Miami guy, and you hate the Jets, and you love the Dolphins, but I just think the Jets. It doesn't seem to matter what they do or don't do, because it never seems to go right. I mean, and I don't know whose fault that is. It's funny because when I talked to the Jets assistant, I asked him about last year. He goes, "That was those Jets. We're a new staff." But I wonder, and we're going to see if that's true. I mean, that'll come. And by the way, we're going to have him on. He's going to come on the show. It's Ricky Manning Jr., by the way. And but we'll see if that's correct or not. But all I know is whatever the Jets do, it just doesn't seem to work.
Well, I think you touch upon something there, and it's beyond the rational. It's not all the numbers. It's not the most logical thing, but they're the Jets.
You're the Jets.
There's about the Jets. For every stellar dynasty and program, there's the loser. And unfortunately for the Jets fans, you want to win. You love your team, but they're the Jets.
You're the Jets.
And when's the last time they did anything of note? It was with Rex Ryan, right? They made the FC title game.
Yeah.
And it's just one blunder after another blunder after another blunder. And I think there's something to it. They're kind of resigned to their fate in a lot of ways. We'll see. They might prove me wrong, but I haven't seen it yet.
And that's it. Like a lot of these teams, I just know what they have been and what they do. So you have to prove me wrong until further notice. which is something we're going to get into with the Bears when we talk with them or about them because I have some issues with what they did. But okay.
So, any other thoughts on the second pick?
No, they gave the Jets a. Let's see what they graded them here. An A for getting Zach. I mean, and you know what? I think he's definitely better than Darnold, but we'll see. He'll be better. But like I said,
I don't know about that.
Like I said, they're
I
the
can see
Jets,
it
though.
as a
They're the Jets,
par.
though.
They made it. They hit a par. They got rid of Darnold and got Wilson. I don't see
Right.
much of a difference. Remember that
No, he's
Darnold was the
different.
second coming, and Jets
No,
fans
no, no,
don't
no.
deny it. You all believe that Darnold was going to be the one.
But to me, he never was, Rob, because he went to SC. And if you know anything about USC, and they were great, when I was growing up. But the one thing they never had through all those years was a super great quarterback. They were great at every other position, including running back. But they always had problems with the QBs. And I never believed in this guy, even at USC. And I'm UCLA, we're their rivals, so I know. I was never high on him. I know, and you're right, all the Jet fans were, and everybody in the whole world was, but I wasn't. And that.
But then again, they didn't have any help having Adam Gase coach the team either. So, who knows what that had to do with it.
Well, wait a minute. Was Gase there the whole time though with Darnold, or was Darnold there before him?
I believe so.
Or was there?
No, I think.
I think he was there year before him, right? Am I right about that?
Okay, so another question from Chance. How you're the guest on the
friends
show.
With Chance. Thanks,
nice.
Chance.
So Chance is asking, wouldn't the Jets have been better with Sam, Kyle Pitts, and Najee Harris, a top tight end and running back?
Oh, Najee Harris for sure. I said to people that I actually go out and watch the games with, whoever gets him is going to get the steal of the draft. He's amazing, and Pitts is great. But, they got rid of their quarterback, and you have to get that position filled. That is the most important position. But Harris is the real deal. He is a star, an absolute star. And Pittsburgh, once again, they got that big running back. They always seem to do it. I was hoping one of my teams would do it, the Chiefs or the Bills. But the Chiefs had to get the offensive line. And the Bills, they didn't have the pick before Pittsburgh. So, but I love Harris. And I kid you not on that. He's a can't miss in my mind. He's a steal of draft.
I'm not sure who was on the market. Well, Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go back to Green Bay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too.
I don't know who the Jets who was available to the Jets on the market, but I agree with Chance. I mean, a guy like Kyle Pitts, he's a freak, and Najee Harris is definitely the best running back in the draft.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah.
I think you could have had a difference maker. I just don't see Zach Wilson as moving the needle, but I could see Najee Harris moving the needle. He would be ranked. I think he'll get right up there, right behind Henry. He's going to be a star.
I think he's Derrick Henry Jr. I really do. He's really good. I mean, really. The only thing about the Jets is they do need a line too, and if they just got the running back, it's going to be tough. They're going to take. If they didn't have a quarterback to protect him, and a line, he could get hurt. He could, But
so moving on to. Sorry, Bob.
Go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
And by the way, they gave the Jets an A with this pick. So far I see a lot of A's on this chart, but Okay, go ahead. You want to go with the 49ers?
They're third. 49ers picked Trey Lance, the quarterback out of North Dakota State. Your thoughts?
He's a better choice than the Ohio State quarterback. And
really?
And yes, because he's a thrower. He'll sit in there. He'll throw. But you know what? The quarterback for Ohio State is sick. He has epilepsy. And I think that's why San Francisco decided to back off. The guy could, God forbid, he could die on the field, and I'm sure San Francisco wants nothing to do with that. And I really don't think he's that good as a rule. I watched him play. He runs, and that really helps him. And he's got moxie, but he's little. And you do need to be big to see over the lineman. And he doesn't stay in the pocket enough. The pros are a pocket league. You can pull it off in college. You cannot pull it off in the pros. You'll be pretty good, but if you keep running around with those defensive linebackers and linemen, they're going to catch you. They're fast. They'll break every bone in your body if you keep trying it. Look at Mahomes. He had to run around a lot because he didn't have an offensive line this year, and he got hurt. I mean, I still like the pocket quarterbacks better, and this was a better choice. And we haven't talked about where Chicago yet, but there were two guys on last night. I was driving, and I was listening to it, and I was going to watch the draft with friends, and Chicago picked, and they were so happy they picked Ohio State guy. The two fans, even though they were doing their show, they were fans of the Bears. They were dancing around like God just signed for their team. It was just like, are you kidding? Like, first of all, he's sick. Second of all, you just took a couple of years ago Trubisky, right? And you were dancing around when you traded half the darn franchise to get him. How did that work out? He's a Buffalo.
I
now.
completely, wholeheartedly disagree with you entirely.
Cool.
I think they should be jumping the streets. Ohio State QB is a stud. He's an athlete. Illness aside, I've seen his throws much better than Trey Lance. I think this Trey Lance pick is an awful pick on the 49ers' part. I'm going to go on a limb, Bob, and say Trey Lance does not become an NFL starter at any point ever. I think this is a jump the gun move. 17 games he's only played, 20 years old. Definitely not going to start right away.
Well, they still got Garoppolo, so he's not going to start right away, but he can learn in that system. And they do kind of want to get rid of Garoppolo from what they're saying. That's what some people are talking about.
I just don't see this guy making it. I just don't. I think you're not going to strike. Lightning's not going to strike twice. You got it with Wentz, who's kind of fading. I just don't see Trey Lance as moving the needle, and I think he'll be on a roster. I'd be surprised if he becomes a starter. In his defense, he's proved pretty much everyone wrong. He wasn't recruited to a single Division I team, but he went and won the title with undefeated with North Dakota State. I believe 2 back-to-back. So
they are a quarterback haven, North Dakota State.
But I just don't agree. I think the team should have jumped on the Ohio State quarterback way earlier, and he looked great. He looked better than Lawrence in the playoff game, and I think he's going to.
But he didn't look better. But he didn't look better than Alabama.
He didn't.
No,
and I like the Alabama quarterback too, who got no love.
And he went to New England. Am I right?
Yes, I'm not sure. We'll see when we hit that, but
I'm pretty sure he did.
He was picked a little later in the first round.
That's right, he was. But I don't blame the 49ers. They were going to take the Ohio State guy. But once they found out he was sick, and you can't overlook that. That's not like, oh, he's got a cold. That's epilepsy. That's a real problem, I mean.
Well, they're going to have the docs on lockdown with his management, with medication management, and
sure,
be prepared to deal with that. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, that's a risk. That's a definite risk.
That's a big risk.
He could blow up in their face. No doubt about it.
Right.
Moving on to the 4th pick for the Falcons. Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida.
Yeah, he's an A+ here. And by the way, Lance was an A. They gave him an A grading. Pitts is great. I mean, he's an A+ for a reason. I don't think the Falcons are an A+ team though. And Matt Ryan is so up and down. Ice is a good name for him because he's cold as ice when he's bad, and he's cool as ice when he's good.
Yeah.
And he's too inconsistent though. There's a problem, and the team is too. And they kind of ride it with him, but they needed this guy, and he's going to be great for them. He's just a great player. This guy, he does everything. I mean,
so Chance actually chimed in again, Bob,
regarding
I love Chance. Fields, Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah.
So he believes Fields would be a player as long as the Bears still focus on the defensive side and don't ask Fields to do too much.
Yeah, but they want Fields to do a lot because they need a quarterback, because Trubisky didn't work. I mean, they really need a quarterback. And I mean, their offense a couple of years ago was really, really good, but since Trubisky didn't do well, that kind of changed. So I don't know. Sooner or later, it's still the quarterback's the most important position. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. And I think they're going to have to rely on him pretty heavy, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think Pitts can play all over the field, not just tight end. I think he could go. You could put him out, stick him on the outside too. He's got crazy speed for his size.
Right.
So I think
They're,
regardless of what
they
happens, he's going to be successful.
they compare him to Ertz. I mean, he's good. He's younger, obviously. He's the highest draft pick in pro football history. That's pretty damn good. I don't know if I want to be on the Atlanta Falcons because they're not.
He's the highest what tight end?
Yeah,
highest tight end pick ever. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, but he's going to fill them. But the problem is, he's going to go down there and like Tony Gonzalez did at the end of his career, they ain't going to win nothing. They'll be good, but they won't be great. Not good enough to win it,
So there you have it, the fourth pick. Moving on to the fifth pick for the Bengals is Jamar Chase, the wide receiver out of LSU, a star player.
Right. And I think I'll tell you what, Rob, I hang around with this kid, because I met him during the football season, and he's like you. He's a Dolphin, all Dolphin. And I wasn't there last night. I was on my way. And when you pick Waddle, right, I text him, and I go, do you like the pick? And he goes, yeah, I like him as a player, but it was a bit of a reach at 6. And he wanted Chase. And it looked like, and I kept telling him all year, Chase is going to be the guy that you need the most, and you're probably going to get him. What I didn't know was Cincinnati had their eye on him. And I think because of Burrow, because he played at the same school, that's why they got him at LSU. He had a lot to do with that. He had a lot to do with that pick. He wanted him there, and he's great. He's an A+, by the way. They got him graded as that. And he is a great player. He's big. He's fast. He's what Cincinnati needs. Of course, they need a little bit of everything. But, yeah, it's a great pick. And I can see why my friend was a little bit upset that they didn't get him, but I know you like Waddle. And he does too to a point, but not as much as Chase. No way.
Well, and other segments, other people I spoke to, other Dolphins fans, they wanted the offensive tackle. They want to beef up that line for Tua. Right. So others, they like Chase, but they also wanted OT. I'm happy with Waddle. 19 yards per catch. That's insane.
Right.
That's crazy. He's a freak. He has freak speed, and he is coming off an injury, but I think he'll be good. I'm okay with the pick.
I got a question. Did your friends want the Oregon lineman? Because I don't think you addressed that. Did you?
I don't. I just know they wanted a lineman, and it probably was the guy.
Well, would have been him.
Pick.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a great player. He's a great player.
But there were deficiencies in the wide receiver core too. So, we need targets too. So, I think I don't know. I'm going to go maybe even Steven with it. Beefs up the wide receiver core, but leaves the line a little off. But if Tua can improve, he can manage that. Mm-hmm. I'm not off the Tua train. I'm going to give him another year or two to see what he's made of.
Yeah, my friend says the same thing, that likes them. I'm off the Tua train. He's pretty good, but he's not good enough. I think in a couple of years they'll be looking to trade. They benched him a few times this year, and there was even a little bit of talk of maybe we should start looking around. But I do.
Yeah, but you got to remember he basically didn't play the year before. He got that severe injury that ended Bo Jackson's career.
Sure.
And first year, I mean, I'm not going to rule him out yet. To be determined. To be determined. But Chance has another question, Bob.
Yeah, Chance, go ahead.
Asked, Bob, why would Atlanta start the rebuild with a tight end since they need everything?
Well, that's a good question. I guess they feel that Ryan still has a little bit left in him, because there were quarterbacks to be taken and they didn't do it. And maybe they feel, these guys weren't fit to their need, or maybe even not good enough in their minds. I agree. That's what I tried to say before. Pitts is great, but he's going to be pretty lonely there, because the thing about Ryan, he's so up and down. You don't know what's coming. So, I kind of agree with that. I mean, they really could use some defensive players, and they're going to get rid of Julio Jones. Am I right? They're looking to shop him. So I don't really know what the game plan is in Atlanta. Like we used to say down the field, Chance, what is the plan? I mean, I don't know. And by the way, I know Chance really well. Actually, Rob, a couple years ago, we were going to do a show years ago. If it's the same
That's
Chance, and I
wild.
believe it is, yeah,
So we got to get Chance. We got to get you on the show.
we'll get you on, Chance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love talking to Chance.
Totally. Yeah, no, I mean Matt Ryan is. I think he's got to be around 36. He's coming.
Yeah,
You
Matt's
know,
getting up there.
the
I'm a
clock's
little
ticking
surprised
for
they
Matt
didn't do
Ryan.
it. You know what I don't. You know what though, Chance, and this is true. There are so many bad GMs that have their jobs, and I don't know how they still got them. Because, yeah, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for that, but you know what? It's the truth. These guys, man, they don't even they're lousy judges of talent, and that's what keeps them either mediocre or bad. It makes them bad, keeps them bad, really. And it. There's only a few really sharp minds in every sport. They're the ones that have the advantage. They're the ones with the thumbs up. They're one up on everybody else. LeBron's going to make a great um, agent someday because he knows talent. He can make a great agent. He can see talent. He
For
stacks his
sure.
team.
So
He stacks his team all the time. He does. He knows who to get.
that he does.
Yeah, he does.
So yeah, so Detroit picked. I'm probably not going to pronounce this correctly.
Okay.
Panay Sewell,
Yeah, he's the lineman.
offensive tackle out of Oregon. Good grab. I mean, he's gonna patch up
grab.
anybody's line.
He's awesome. He's big. He's strong, and you can't get around that guy. He's real good. By the way, Chase is an A+. And wait a minute. Do you want to do Waddle? Waddle was the next pick.
Sure. Yeah, Waddle was a 6 pick. I'm happy with Waddle. I think, like I said, 19 yards per catch. That's in the SEC. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and once he catches that ball and he's in the open field, he's gone.
So he could be a really good dump off guy if Tua can get him the ball.
Yeah, and Tua does dump the ball off because a lot of I know my friend hated your offensive coordinator, Rob, because everything was like Alex Smith, a 3-yard pass, because he never believed in throwing 4 yards or greater. But yeah, I mean, this guy has got a breakaway speed and he's a really good player. I don't know how he's kind of small, but that's okay if you're good. I mean,
Tyreek Hill's not that big.
Small, right. That's what I was gonna say, right? Yeah, it sure is.
So I'm okay with it. I mean, if they got the lineman or if they were able to get Chase, I'd be fine with any 3.
Right, and he's an A player. He's grade A. Okay, so we got Sewell with Detroit. Detroit, he kind of fell in Detroit's lap because I really thought Miami was gonna take him. I did, and he's a great offensive lineman. He's gonna help Goff a lot. Who needs help? So because now Goff is there, I believe.
Yeah, they got Stafford went to the Rams.
Yeah. And they got him graded as a B. I think he's better than that. See, the only thing I don't like about the early rounds, and I know they do it different now, especially the first round, I don't like getting defensive backs and offensive linemen. And I like the position players better. And they always did that when we were growing up. Now, no. They kind of threw that, like running backs would go top of. Now the first running back was Pittsburgh took was Harris, and he was at the bottom of the first round. But I like it better when you take the best players in the best positions, because then everybody else is a fill-in. They're easy to fill in. You know what I mean? But this guy's a great player. There's no doubt about it.
So yeah, moving on to the 8 pick with Carolina, they have J.C. Horn, cornerback from South Carolina.
Okay, you want to tell me about him, Ram? You got this one.
So he's a lockdown defender, great defender.
Right.
There's no debate about his skill set as defender.
Mm-hmm.
But as one of the talking heads on the draft live show said, is that really helping out Darnold? And he was of the opinion, I can't remember his name, that you want to build the offense around Darnold, and they should have gotten a wide receiver. Frankly,
right.
I don't really know. I don't know what the offensive makeup of the Carolina is beyond Darnold at this point. So he might have had a point, but they got a great defender. This guy's a lockdown guy. He's a shutdown guy. So
yeah, he is.
The defense will benefit. I don't know if that's going to ultimately lead to a net loss because they needed more offense, but I don't think you could say it was a bad pick.
Well, again, this is my example of not taking defensive backs in the first round because you're right. And the thing about defensive backs, for as good as they are, I think they're overpaid, and I don't think any of them are. I mean, these guys on offense, the wide receivers are so talented. You pretty much have to hold them the whole way to keep them from catching the ball and hold them tight. And I don't. I just think that you can get these guys in the later rounds, or as a free agent if one of them is free. That's really good. I mean, Revis, for as great as he was, he had some bad years too, one or two with the Jets. So, I mean, but he's still only a cornerback. And you're right. They didn't help their offense. They didn't help Darnold. They just didn't. I mean, and fortunately for Darnold, he's got a great running back, you know. But I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. They gave him a B grade. I think that's about right. I'm not saying he's not good, but I wouldn't have done it.
It's the consensus seemed to be it was a surprise to pick him.
Yeah. I'm a little old fashioned in the sense that, today everybody's into the younger guys and the draft picks and getting the cornerbacks. I'm not. I'm just like, let's just do it the right way. To me, that's the wrong way. And I wouldn't have done it. But unless he's such a can't miss guy that you almost have to take him, which is interesting because Denver, this could be with the next pick, And Denver has the next pick.
He's Patrick Surtain, the second quarterback out of Alabama.
Right. And he's great. There's no doubt. He's pretty big too. And Denver needed it, but Denver needs a lot of things. They need a quarterback really, and they need a lot of things. They're pretty lousy right now. He is an A grade, and it'll definitely help them. But again, I guess if he's that kind of player, you take him. I don't know if I would, but they say he's really great, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's a star, and he'll be a defensive standout. And I'm not entirely sure if what I thought Denver had a pretty good D recently. So I guess they want to just enhance it more. But I would have thought they would have gone with the offensive player. But again, now they're already strong defensive unit's going to be even stronger. So, I mean, I don't think that it's a loss there.
Right.
And then on the 10th pick for the Eagles, another Alabama player.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith.
I think the whole team pretty much made the pros.
The whole team, they were basically an NFL team.
Yeah, that's
NFL
right.
light.
Great player. Great pick. Philly needs a lot, and this is a good start. He's a great player. He's graded A, and I can see why. He's one of the best receivers in the class. Production's off the chart. It doesn't matter that he's not all that big. He's just great. Apparently he was with Jalen Hurts. But see, Philly needs to get rid of Jalen Hurts. That backup is probably better. I don't believe in Hurts. I just don't. He's not very good. So
no, I don't see Jalen Hurts having staying power in a starting role.
No. But do you like the pick? Do you like the wide receiver?
I think he's a good receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good pick. I think he's
solid. They need a lot, and they got a lot of.
If you need a wide receiver, you can't go wrong with him.
Right, and they have the most picks in this draft. So, and if Chance calls in again, ask him. I bet you anything he doesn't like the Zach Wilson. I bet you he's against it. Because I know him really well, and it seems. I
don't know why you would take a guy who played a mid-major schedule over Mac Jones, who tore up the SEC. To me, Mac Jones was the most efficient quarterback in college football last year.
Right.
I mean, he dominated Ohio State completely. He was way better than Fields in that game. If I were the Jets, I would have taken Mac Jones over Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
I would have taken Justin Fields over Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Those two for sure I would have taken over Zach Wilson. I don't know about the guy from North Dakota State. I wouldn't have drafted him. But
no, you're not a big fan.
I'm
of
big
his.
on him.
No,
I think they're looking to get lightning to strike twice after Wentz, and I don't think it's going to happen.
No, Wentz was special. You got to understand, Wentz was special. He won the
Yeah,
national
Wentz is
title.
special.
He won the national title 4 years in a row. Nobody does that. Nobody.
No.
And nobody even stays 4 years in a row, pretty much.
But as you can see, Wentz is kind of waning a bit. I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
He came in and made a splash, but
No,
he did have injuries.
the
But at
injury
the same
did
time,
it.
he hasn't been able to bounce back.
Yeah, well, because the injury's bad, the knee's bad, and like my brother said, he should have been wearing those knee pads. He didn't wear them. He took a shot in that knee on the goal line, and everybody gives Foles the credit. Foles should have lost the first game against the Falcons if Julio Jones wasn't held in the end zone, and the ref should have called it and didn't. They would have lost. They were losing that whole game at home against Atlanta in game one. And
so you think Wentz?
If it wasn't for Wentz, they don't get there. Wentz is great.
He was great that year, no doubt about it. But But you think it's too damaged? The injuries got him, sabotaged the career.
It seems that way. Whether it's mental or physical now, I don't know, but it's definitely affected him to the sense. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Philly has gone down since then, so maybe the team just stinks. Well, obviously they're not very good, or they wouldn't be in this top 10 picks. But unless they traded in, but I mean, no, it was all Wentz should have had that statue outside the stadium, not Foles, because he took them the whole way. Foles got the credit, And I'm not saying he didn't play well. He didn't play well in that first game. After that, he did.
But he got momentum. He stepped in and got it done for them.
He did,
and hasn't done anything since.
No, because he's only okay. Look, they had him and traded him the first time, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And got him back. So, no. Okay, we got this is the one.
Justin Fields, the quarterback. I'm going to say he's going to be a star.
Okay.
I think he's going to be really good. He's just a freak athlete. Got a really good arm. He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think. It looks like Chance is going to be departing, Bob. He says he congratulates us on a great discussion, and he's looking forward to chatting again.
Anytime you want to come on, Chance.
We'll get you on. Get you on the show live for sure. Pick your brain, see what you got, see what your thoughts are on the teams.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever sport you want to talk about, we'll shoot it. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'll see you down the field, Chance, playing tennis, I'm sure. Okay. Here we go. You think he's gonna be a star, right?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have to stay healthy. That's the main thing. Look at, like you said about Carson Wentz. That injury may have been the catalyst to kind of bring him down the notches. He's taken down.
With all
he's got the illness, so yeah, he could blow up. But I think if he can stay healthy, he's a freak athlete with a freak arm.
Mm-hmm. No. He's only a B+ on the grade level here. No, Rob. Even if he was sick or wasn't sick, I wouldn't take him because I don't think he's that good. He's a college quarterback. That's all he is. And Chicago did it again. I'd like to know who's running that organization because I'm calling them out. And they keep making mistakes with these quarterbacks. They traded so many picks to get Trubisky. They basically sold the farm, and it didn't work. And what's he in Buffalo now? As a backup, I think, or Kansas City is a backup. One of those two. I think it's Buffalo. But Fields is terrible. I don't want to say he's terrible, but he's definitely not. He runs too much.
I would have picked Mac Jones over Justin Fields.
Okay, if you think, wait.
If I were I would have taken Mac Jones as a second quarterback after Trevor Lawrence. I think Mac Jones. I don't know why he's kind of getting poo-pooed if it's Alabama hasn't had traditionally strong quarterbacks. But to me, he's an outlier for Alabama. He's a great passer, poised. Apart that guy.
Okay. First of all, just because Alabama hasn't had great quarterbacks in the past doesn't mean Mac Jones
doesn't mean squat for now. I'm just trying to figure out why he went down to 15, and now the Patriots got him, and Bill Belichick's got him. And
does that make you feel good as a Miami fan?
That could get them back in the mix. I mean, I really like Mac Jones. I think he's going to be really good.
I do too. He's a much better quarterback. He had a much better arm than anything they've had the last couple of years in Alabama. Yeah. He's a good player. But now if you love Fields so much, why would you think that Mac Jones should have been the Bears pick?
Because I think he's a more accurate thrower than Fields.
Hmm.
I think he's even more poised in the pocket than Fields. Um, I think he's going to be a better field general.
Yeah,
I think Fields is a better athlete.
but
I
see,
think he
that's
has
what I'm
a
saying.
stronger
See,
arm.
hold on, Ron. But you said he's going to be a star. If this guy feels he's going to be a star, why would you want somebody else? That's my point. And you know what? This
Well, you
guy,
have to ask them. I don't know why. I think they're both going to be stars. I just think
okay.
Jones is better.
Hmm. Well, then you go with the better star, and I don't think he
I would have
is.
done.
Yeah, but I
I
don't think
agree.
he. But I
You
don't
don't
think
you don't
he
think Mac
is.
Jones is better than Fields?
No, I think he's better. But I don't think Fields is because you
Agree.
said you love this pick with the Bears, but I don't. And like I would have never picked him. I would have picked somebody else who was better. And I mean, he's got even if he was healthy, it doesn't matter. He
I would
runs.
have. I don't think he's like light year. I don't think Mac Jones is so much better than
He
Fields.
probably be a better either runner, like running back, or wide receiver, or even defensive back. I just don't. I just don't see him as a quarterback. I don't.
Yeah,
Not
but
in the
that's
NFL.
kind of the game is. The game has these kind of hybridized quarterbacks.
Yes,
Now,
and it's wrong, Rob. And you know what? I said this last night. People and these two guys were going crazy on the radio. I want to say it was an ESPN's radio station. I got about like 10 of them now, on the radio. And they were dancing. They were both Bear fans. Like, oh, we did it. We got it. You ain't got nothing. Because you know what? It's gonna in a couple of years, you're gonna go, we better trade him. He's not that good. That's exactly what they're gonna say. And you know what? I tell you, this guy won't be in the league for 5 years. If he does, I'll be shocked. I'll
so
be
as you can
shocked.
see, folks, we're going bold today.
Yeah, we're going bold.
Zach Wilson is a bust and will fail, just like the rest of the Jets picks have of recent memory. And you
No,
say
I don't think so.
Justin Fields is gonna fail.
Yes, I do. Yes. The Bears are gonna hate it.
So you think Zach Wilson's gonna work out?
He's gonna be better than Fields.
I don't know about that.
I do. The only thing, again, about the Jets is they are the Jets, and for whatever reason, they could do the absolute right thing and still turn out wrong. I don't know why. That's just them. But it's not it seems like it's not their fault at times. They're the Jets, and that's what happens. But trust me, and you got to remember, Frisco didn't want this guy. The Jets could have took this guy. None of them did it. None of them wanted Fields. None of them. So, I mean, I just think that I understand. You see, Rob, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad on the other radio stations. This ridiculous idea about mobile quarterbacks are the way of the future. If that's the case, then I never want to go into the future. I'd rather go back into the past because it's the wrong way. People think that they have a better idea and they're right about things. How about being right and wrong before you form an opinion and knowing what that right and wrong is? This is not the right thing. Tom Brady does not run around. Elway could run around when he wanted to, but it wasn't his running that did it. It was his arm that beat you. Marino never ran around. Kelly never ran around. Montana never ran around. Young could, but he knew I only got to run around when somebody's breathing down my throat. The rest I'll just beat you with my left arm. It's still about the pocket passing. And Brady's still doing it today. So nobody can go, well, that was back then. What are you, dumb? It's still working. That's like telling me Tim Duncan fundamental doesn't work. He's got just as many titles as Kobe. And Kobe needed Shaq.
Yeah, but if you take out the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady,
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes has back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, but wait a minute. He's still a pocket passer too. He can rolling out and running for your life are different. Rolling out is part of the overall offensive scheme. You're allowed to do that.
Tom Brady isn't breaking a 20-yard run, man. It's not happening.
That's right.
Patrick Mahomes could break it open.
He could
run.
Yeah, but what happened when he did? He got hurt. See, I'm telling you, it's not the right way. And a lot of times he did break those runs because he's so good. You try to keep him in the pocket and rush him in the middle. So he had to run around and roll out and take off. He'd rather not do that, I'm sure, because he won, especially in that Super Bowl against San Francisco, because in the late third quarter, they finally let him throw the ball. Andy was running too many inside handoffs, and they were on it after a while. You run too many, they're going to stop you. But you have to break that with the quarterback. The quarterback takes pressure off the running.
I'm not arguing to not throw. You got to be able to throw. Quarterback needs to throw the ball.
Well, that's right. But what I'm telling you is running quarterbacks don't throw it that great.
Tool set is only going to help you if you can stay healthy.
Well, Rob, but you should never put the run in front of the pass if you're the quarterback. It should always be the other option. It's like the 3-point line. Don't take a three unless you need it. Don't take a three unless you absolutely – don't take it every time down when you're up by 15 and blow the lead and lose the game, which they do all the time, these teams. It's a joke. It's an out-and-out joke. You need to stop. They've adopted too many dumb ideas. And then you get these young kids on ESPN going, oh, I think. Stop thinking. You need to be smart before you can think. You're not that smart. You have an opinion, but it's wrong, dummy. It's wrong. Do the right thing. Figure it out. Sit there and think about it. That's the problem, Rob. That is what it's about. These guys, they don't know nothing. And then that triggers into, and I'll tell you, that triggers into the GMs because the GMs listen to these shows, Rob, and they start believing these whiz kids. They're not whiz kids. They can barely spell their own name, half of them. They're dumb. Their IQ is about 3. And I mean 3, number 3. That's it. And look, they're just not, these people, like I said, I don't know how they get jobs. And they keep getting rehired. That's the clicker.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see – I think you're going to see that straight pocket passing is going to fade. I think you're going to see more of this hybrid quarterback stuff. But I agree with you. It shouldn't be just run first.
No.
But having that in your pocket is going to be necessary. I mean, frankly, the linemen these linemen run like 4.5. You need to be able to move. Unless you can get the best, the top, unless you can build such a iron wall around your pocket passer, which not every team is capable of.
Well, you know who does that, Rom? The smartest coach in the league does that. Belichick. Nobody could get near Brady. Yeah, he had a quick release, and he still does. But let's be real. He put those guys on that line. Nobody got near him.
Got to have the wall.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're a smart guy, that's the first thing you think of. Like, yeah. And you know what? I got to hand it to Kansas City. They got rid of their pick, but they restructured the whole front line. And you know what? I know you have to be fast, but if you keep running around the corner, those guys are fast on D too. They're going to run you down. If you run past the pass protection, they're going to run you down. I mean, no. Look, it's a throwing position. It's the general. The general doesn't go into battle. He orders people into battle. The rest of the guys go into battle. It's the brain of the outfit. It's the most important position.
But when the front lines crash around you, you got to be able to you got to get in the field too, General.
Yes, I know. But they have the smarts to do it. That's the most important position. And in this case, they have the arm to do it. Running, it's not going to do it if everything's crashing down around you. You're going to get swamped.
So do you believe each one of these franchises has the ability to build that kind of wall, to build the team in the way that it works for that pocket passer? Or are there teams that are literally handicapped and really could benefit from a hybrid quarterback that can do more for them?
Because you can do it. But the thing is, nobody's smart. Most are not smart enough to do it. And most do not know how to do it. They have their own ideas. And yeah, you can sit there and go, well, it's going mobile. It doesn't matter if it's going mobile. That's like saying, I'm going to start running red lights because everybody's starting to do it. It's the new trend. It's the wrong thing to do. It's not important about your opinion. It's more important about doing the right thing with it.
But I feel like you're making it seem like the hybrid quarterback is some brand new thing. I mean, Randall Cunningham, he could throw lights out and run.
No, it's not a brand new thing. But they're trying to make it a brand new thing. What they don't realize is in the past, it never worked. Yeah, you have individual success from time to time like Cunningham, but how many times did Cunningham win it? 0. How many times did your guy win it? From Syracuse, Donovan, McNabb? 0.
Well, because the Patriots cheated, Bob. I mean, if the Patriots
all that aside,
we would have won.
All that aside,
4 straight NFC title games. So
and that's another thing. I love Tom Brady, and I I'm glad you brought it up, Rob, because I am so sick of people being jealous of this man. He's amazing. I understand he gets
Greatest
calls.
of all time.
I don't know any star in the history of any league that's never gotten a call. They all did in their time and place. But this guy's great. And when he left Belichick, and I know Belichick is great, this man, the Giant, Bill Parcells, I'll tell you how great he is. When he went to the Giants.
The clock just resets to like 8 seconds. I mean, come on. Everyone's seen those videos.
Yes, I know. But here's what you don't know. Like, when he joined Parcells' staff, like, he doesn't Parcells did not have a winning record as a coach without him as his defensive coordinator. He's great, Rob. Belichick is great. And I'm all for that. But even with that,
no argument there.
Right. But and the reason I brought it up, even with that, every idiot, and I will use that term on a lot of fans and people in the media. It's a system. It's a system. No, it's the quarterback running that system. And I said that from the start. And people freaked out because on the first game of the year last year, Tampa Bay got beat by New Orleans, right? Mm-hmm. And New England won. Oh, see, it's a system. And I said, it's one game. Are you out of your mind?
It's one game.
It's game one. It's game one, no less.
Everyone's writing it off because it's the one game, New Orleans.
No,
it always wins in the regular season, then does nothing in the playoffs.
And then they make all kinds of excuses that Brady's not great. Oh, he's always had the best team. He's played for 20 years. People have come in and out like a shuttle. He's the only consistent. He keeps winning.
It's all plug and play with the Patriots.
That's right.
Plug him in, let it happen.
And this is the guy that, Michigan wanted him to just go away in his senior year, but he wanted to play. They told him, just go away. And he's like, no, I want to play. And he finally won the starting job there. They were not big fans of his in Michigan. Don't let them fool you. Now they're like, oh, we love him. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Just ask Drew Henson. He'll tell you. He was the other quarterback. They ended up playing with the New York Yankees. No. You know what? Let me tell you something. It's the guy. You have to know who's great by looking at them and watching them. And too many, including GMs, they don't know. They can't judge talent. They're terrible at it. Like I said, LeBron would be great GM, judging talent, because he can do it. I knew Anthony Davis was the best player. He knew Anthony Davis was the best player. He got him. Danny Ainge, where are you? I'm a Celtic fan. You left us high and dry because you did the wrong things. There's a lot of things I can say, and I can't say it here. But you know what? I wasn't pleased with your move. Let's just put it that way. But you know, but you have to have an idea. Like I said, before you give an opinion, anything in life, not even sports, you better know right and wrong first, because you're going to look like a jackass if you don't do it. And you'll get a lot of people who will agree with you, but they're dumb and they'll follow. So they're jackasses too. So don't let that, because the minute you start, oh, that's the new wave. It's a new wave. It's the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. You're following the Pied Piper right into the ocean. You're going to drown. Or off the cliff, or wherever he walked. I think it was off the cliff. But that's
so
really
basically what you're saying is Lamar Jackson will not win a Super Bowl.
I think he'll be out of the league in 5 years.
Another one, 5 years gone. Okay.
He may luck out. He may luck out and go 6 years. We'll see. But he's not. Look, I said the same thing about Dak. I said, you know what I said about Dak? As long as he's the quarterback for Dallas. And by the way, that's the next pick. They're never going to win the Super Bowl. They're never going to win the Super Bowl.
No, they're not going to win the Super Bowl with Dak.
No. And
everyone knows this.
This guy wanted $1 billion for what, 25 years?
For what? Barely getting in the playoffs?
Right. And then losing at home the rookie year. He had the great year, right? They lost at home to Green Bay. Rodgers went there and beat him. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I'm not going to give you $1 billion to suck. I'm not going to give you $1 billion if you're great. You're not worth that much. But, you know, especially if you suck, you ain't getting it. And look, I don't think he totally sucks, but he's not that. Even Aikman said it. You know, I watched him one night and Dallas was playing, and he's throwing like incomplete passes for 3.5 quarters. The only reason they won that game, Dallas, is the damn guy on Philly fumbled. And he goes, I don't think that's a great quarterback. He said that right on the air.
He's not a championship caliber quarterback.
No.
It's not being mean. It's not being offensive. It's not being, we're not saying this because we're
Well, I
trying to
never said
be
anything about any of
a-holes.
that. I didn't say anything about any of that. I'm just telling you it's about good and bad. And
He's
he's
not a
not that
championship
good. He's not
caliber
that good.
quarterback.
He's just not
He's
that
not that
good.
good. That's it.
That's it.
Simple. It's nothing more than that. And that's okay. Not everyone is good enough to win it all.
No,
Well,
no.
so they got Micah Parsons in the 12th pick,
Yeah,
the
they did.
Cowboys,
Yeah, he's from
linebacker from Penn
Penn
State.
State. Right. You like
I
him,
don't really
Rob?
know much about this one.
He's a really good player. They think he's a little raw and young, but they think he can be a great linebacker. And Dallas, I think that their best linebacker just retired, and but they needed one, so they got him. He's ranked as a B, but he's really solid. It was a good pick by Dallas, and I think Washington's going to win the division, but they need to do is start that third string quarterback. Heineke, is that his name? Heineken? It's like the beer. It's like the beer. That guy's poised. He played a great playoff game. He looks like he looks like he's been starting in the league for 7 years. He's great. They ought to play him. They got a prize there. And if they don't play him or they just let him sit the bench or whatever or trade him, they're crazy. Guy's a good player.
Excuse me. Yeah, so seems like they made a move for themselves, but again, mute point when you don't have the field general to take you to the promised land. You have to have the quarterback that can win you a Super Bowl to win.
Yeah,
that has a chance.
It's like that with any position player in anything, in any league. Center's the same way. Look, you can have a lot of great players in different positions, but the center, if he's great, I'll take him first. The big man. Anthony Davis LeBron knew it. That's why he took Davis. LeBron knew it. Okay. Well, now we got the Chargers.
We got the Chargers with Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they needed that. They have a great quarterback, Rob.
They got a great quarterback. This is a smart move, I think, for the Chargers. Herbert is really good. He had a great first year. I don't think they had a winning record, but they were in every game.
They should have won a lot of. They were the most unlucky.
They should have won a lot of those. Yeah,
they had a lot of games wrapped up, and they lost them. And they fired the coach. I think they got a new coach, right? But I mean, unless they didn't get along with him in the locker room. I don't know. But I thought he did a great job, and he deserved a better fate. That coach. I never seen a more unlucky team, not named the Jets.
Yeah.
Outside of them, and that's a great move. They got to protect their guys. So.
Yeah, good move on their part.
Yeah, and he's a grade A, so they did a great thing there.
Now here, I think the Jets actually made a good pick. Elijah Vera Tucker, the guard from USC. I think that's a good move. You're getting, you're going to protect your quarterback. I just don't think they got the right quarterback. But I think as far as trying to build a protection unit for a quarterback, they made a good move here.
Okay. Well, now I see why the Jets didn't pick the lineman from Oregon. They needed a lineman, but they had every intention of getting one. This guy's ranked a B, but one thing I know about SC linemen is they're big and they're strong and they're really good. It was a good pick by the Jets. They filled a need. They had to do it. And I think that, that this quarterback needs that. So this young quarterback. So I think it's a good move.
Good move. I agree.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Patriots scooped up a great pick here, getting the quarterback. They obviously need a quarterback. Cam Newton is not going to get it done.
Well, he's older. He's not going to be around much longer.
Not going to be around much longer, and they need to build for their future. So I think this is a great get with a lot of potential. And I don't think Mac Jones could ask for a better coach to begin his career under. Look out for this guy. I expect he's gonna be. He could give fits, and I'm kind of annoyed they got him because I think he's going to be good.
I'm sure you are. I mean, being a Miami fan, But you know what? yeah, everything you said is right because you're under a great coach. You're under a great offensive quarterback coach, and it'll be interesting to see if he starts right away in camp. I don't know. He probably won't, but I think it won't be long before the season's over if they're not going well. He's going to be the quarterback, and they're going to love him. He's pretty solid. He's the best quarterback Alabama's
Solid.
had in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Solid is the key word. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Okay, we got the Cardinals at 16. What do you think about it?
Zaven Collins,
Yeah.
linebacker from Tulsa.
Yeah.
I mean, I what I like what's his name? Kyler Murray, is that his name?
Yeah.
First name?
Yeah.
I get his first name wrong. Kyler Murray. He's Oklahoma quarterback was. I
Right.
like him. I think you can build around him. Does this support that? I don't know. I know Fitzgerald is getting pretty ancient as far as wide receivers go. Is he coming back?
I believe he is. I didn't hear that he
So
retired. I believe he is.
if I were the Cardinals, I would have gone with an offensive skill position, but maybe they need to patch up the defense. He's a good player, no doubt about it.
Well, apparently,
I'm just not
apparently
sure that's what they was in their
need
best interest.
right. Well, apparently he's only a grade C on here, so these people agree with you. Yeah. I mean, I he'll help them. I mean, they need a linebacker and they need a bunch of things. But the offense needs help. I would have went more offense on this, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So 17 Raiders, Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle. They still have Carr as the quarterback.
Uh, yes, they do.
Not a big believer in Carr.
I like him. You got to remember, Rob. He's been on a lot of bad teams, and he's been the one shining guy that's been pretty solid. And then he literally had a bad back. I think he broke his spine or something so he had to come back from that. And he's pretty darn tough. Now the thing about Leatherwood.
Well, how old is he now?
Oh, he's getting up there. He's got to be somewhere in his mid-30s, I guess.
Mid-30s, right?
Right. Now Leatherwood, they got him graded as a D, and it's hard for me to imagine any Bama player below a B. But the Raiders felt they needed that, and they want to protect him. He's getting older, and look, I hope the Raiders bomb being a Chiefs fan and a Bills fan, but it's fine. I mean, that's what they think they need it, but I think they could have done better, and they may in the next round. We'll see. Okay, we have your pick, so I'm going to let you take it.
So 18, Jalen Phillips. This is a Miami consensus popular pick. This is fulfilling a need that we believe we need, and pretty much everyone's happy with it. Excuse me. And I'll take it.
Okay, so they call him an edge. Is that a defensive end, pretty much?
Yeah, exactly. Get the pressure on the
the quarterback. Right. They give him an 8 rating.
I mean, like I said, I feel like the Dolphins so far have addressed needs. I can't. I would like to see the offensive line improve, but that was the trade-off. We needed more in the wide receiver group. So, at least we got this edge guy. I think that plugs that unit in. So I'm happy with the pick.
He had concussion issues.
Typically, I'm unhappy with Dolphins pick. They don't do well in the draft.
Yeah, I know. Well, your friend or my friend was pretty upset. He played at UCLA, Rob, this guy. He transferred to Miami. And he had concussion problems. Are you concerned with that?
Absolutely. I mean, injury, as you get older and you watch sports, you realize just how much of an impact injuries are. When you're younger watching sports, all right, they leave the field. Okay, they'll come back eventually. Well, you don't know the severity of each injury. Not all injuries, regardless if it's the same type of injury, are created equal, and you don't know how it's going to impact that individual. One guy can brush off ACL, no problem. Other guy, never the same. It's definitely something to be mindful of. this kind of touches on a topic I'm kind of getting a little fired up about,
Mhm.
and that's the fact is this NFL professional football rakes in so much money,
Right.
and I know the technology has improved as far as equipment, safety, the quality of safety features of the padding, the helmets, and everything. But you know what? Why can't these teams come together, owners, everyone involved, and plump just just throw on the table a couple billion and get and build that just space age apex technological bodysuit with extremely high absorbing capabilities to absolutely drastically reduce the impact of the impacts. I mean, when there's a will and there's a mind, there's a way. And I have no doubt that if they dump billions into advanced high tech R&D, Elon Musk, if you ever see this, get into the R&D game for sport safety equipment and uniforms and pads, because I don't see a reason we can't have the Starship Troopers full body suit, lay them out, and just not even flinch. That's available. We need to. The helmets are still hard. It hurts to get hit by a helmet. It hurts. Bodysuit. Let's do everything we can to reduce and eliminate injury so that we don't lose our stars. Put the investment owners, put it in play. Let's get the bodysuit, the high impact, whatever, nanotech. I don't know what it's going to look like, but make it happen. Let's do this.
It's interesting. It's interesting you say it because it reminds me of the episode of the Jetsons when George went with his boss to the football game and they were all like mechanical and they would all hit each other and then the guy had to come sweep them off. But yeah, I mean, as long as it's all flexible and they can move and it doesn't hurt them at all, sure. I mean, if they're going to be protected, I'm for that. I'm all for that. So you like this pick then?
I like the pick. I'm happy with the pick. Stay healthy, and again, that's it. Just stay healthy. If you don't get the injury bug, you can do a lot in a career.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. The Washington Football Club, formerly known as the Redskins,
right?
They took Jamin Davis,
right? Linebacker.
I hope I pronounced that properly. Linebacker from Kentucky. Don't know much about this guy. Didn't see much Kentucky last year.
They got him rated as a B. They have him a B, rated B. But I think that Washington's going to be a surprise, Rob, and that's fine because Chase Young. Oh yeah, that they're building that defense up. They got a good D as is, and I mean, and if they would just realize that third string quarterback is not a third string quarterback, he's good. I think that this team could be dangerous.
Oh, Bob, I missed. I don't mean to cut you off, but we did have a comment from the live stream.
Okay.
There's a Smart in the final. Hopefully that's not Key Smart, I pray. But he made the comment that the Jets constantly take the worst draft picks. Yes, they do. Yes, they do smart in final. They definitely do.
Yeah, well, that's
and they continue to do so again, as you probably agree. Zach Wilson is not. I mean, go look at the BYU schedule.
Okay, so he's
go look at the BYU schedule.
Look, they have made a lot of bad picks. There's no doubt about that. And like we said earlier, no matter what they seem to do, it goes wrong, even if it seems right. But you know what? I think Zach's going to be fine. I do. Now, does that mean they're going to win, the division? No, because the Bills are doing that. But are they going to be pretty good? I think they'll be much better than last year. I talked to their coach, their assistant, and they're determined to change things around. So hang in there, Jet fans. I know it's tough.
I think they'll be better. I agree with that. Adam Gase is an awful coach. The coaching staff was terrible. The defensive coach.
I used to love him. I think he was funny with his staring and the whole thing. He made me laugh.
Yeah, he was. I'm glad he's gone. But anyways,
they'll
be better.
That's right. He was your coach, right? Miami.
Yeah, they'll be better. Maybe, I think their peak is about 6-7 wins tops.
Mm-hmm.
And that's having a good year. I mean,
for them. Sure. For them.
So moving on, we have a New York Giants pick, wide receiver Kadarius Toney. I think. Well, I mean,
yeah.
Are the Giants trying to? Are they thinking that Daniel Jones is their guy? Because I think that's a terrible idea.
I think it's a terrible.
Daniel Jones is not.
I'm getting an echo.
NFL starter.
I think it's a terrible pick. Uh, and I was sitting with Giant fans last night, and they were so mad. And I, you know, and I agree with you. Daniel Jones is not the answer. Um, I'm sure when they hear this, they're never going to want to come on. But
Martin Final just said Rich Kotite is the worst. That's true. Can't make that. Can't
I
argue.
love Rich. No, just kidding. No, he was pretty bad. He was pretty bad. Yeah, but but no, like he didn't understand, and I didn't understand this, Rob. They had I think the 11th pick.
Giants fans are not happy with this wide receiver pick?
Not at all. And because they dropped down to get this guy, and they could have had a really good player. They were 11. They're the ones who traded with the Bears, I believe. And they could have done so much better. A couple of years ago, I went to see the Giant game because my friend has season tickets, and they played Minnesota and Buffalo. I went to both games, and I thought I was watching a Buffalo and Minnesota scrimmage. The Giants couldn't tackle. They basically never showed up. And, they had gaping holes on both sides of the ball. And they got some receivers. They're not very good, but they got a few. So to get another one, and they got him graded as a B here, not an A. And I don't understand why you'd move down to get this guy. I don't get it. Unless they want to make some kind of trade or there's some master plan in place. I don't know. But, yeah, Giant fans were pretty annoyed last night. They were. And I don't blame them.
I don't think it's that bad of a pick, honestly. Mm-hmm. I think, he's a good skill position player. I don't, it's a mute point when you don't have a good quarterback.
Right. Well, that's right. That's what I said. Those positions are the most important. They're the generals. Everything runs around them.
Yeah. You have to have a star quarterback, or you're not going to win.
Right.
Get it. It's over. Moving on, 21. Quiddy Pay.
Yeah.
I mispronounced that. I apologize. Another edge player from Michigan for the Colts.
Okay. I can tell you right now, he's like the monster of the Midway. He's a monster, and he's a great pass rusher. He was one of the best Michigan ever had, and he went to a Colt team that pretty much the whole season led to the NFL in overall D. They just got better, and he's a grade A player, and yeah, they did great. I mean, he snuck under the radar, and they got him. Great move by the Colts. Great move.
What you're trying to say is Dwight Freeney left a mark. They want that rusher.
Yep, that's right. And that's right. And I believe they have Wentz now. Do they not? Do they have Wentz?
They do, I think.
Yeah. Yes.
So he could make a comeback. It could be a resurgence.
I think he's gonna. That's another thing I'm going to say on the show. I think he's going to be fine. Yeah, it was a great move by them, and
still young. I mean,
yeah, he's still young.
25, 26,
something like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so next, number 22 pick for the Tennessee Titans, cornerback Caleb Farley.
You want to take this one?
I think I think it was a good move because I like the Tennessee Titans offense. Tannehill has shown up and playing like I had hoped he would play with Miami.
Right.
But in his defense, he's got some better personnel around him than he did then, especially that running back. And I think it was a smart move on Tennessee's part to beef up the defense because I really like their offense. They're kind of a machine.
Yeah, you know what? Tannehill's gotten really great since he went there. And a lot of it has to do with the running back. I mean, the one thing people don't get, and they forget this, in the old days, it was mostly running and then you throw. Now it's all throwing and then you run. But the two always take pressure off the other. For years, they would say the running back takes pressure off the quarterback. But the truth was, even back then, the quarterback takes pressure off the running back and everybody else. First down, stop. Second down, stop. 3rd and 5. Third down. Guess who's going to have to make that play? Quarterback. And then that opens up for the running back to bust the big one. And that's what people forget. So they really do have a good offense, and they did need to address this. And this was an address pick. He's only a B grade, but, at 22, yeah, it's pretty good. It's okay. They had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
Mm-hmm. For the record, I don't believe Tannehill will take Tennessee to a title. but he's definitely playing better with that team.
Mm-hmm. We got the
So number
Vikings.
23,
The Vikings.
Minnesota Vikings, Christian Darrisaw.
Great player.
OT Virginia Tech. They still have Cousins as the quarterback.
That's the problem. They needed.
That's the problem.
When I was on the train going to the Giant game when they played Minnesota, I go, you guys got a nice team a couple of years ago, but your quarterback. And I talked to some Minnesota people on the train, and they went, They knew, and I knew it's the quarterback. They're not going to win with him. He's just not that good. And yeah, I guess you got to fill a roster, so you got to put somebody on it. But they should have been looking for to move up maybe to get a quarterback, or if there's any left over that are pretty good. But this is a good pick on the line. He's a great lineman. And you know what? Cousins is going to need the protection because he's not all that great. So yeah, I guess if you're going to keep Cousins,
if you're gonna keep Cousins,
you might as well get a lineman. That's good.
The guy who exploded at a ref at a charity flag football game for no reason,
right?
Who has not proved anything in the NFL. Yeah, you gotta build the wall for him,
right?
So maybe he can get do something,
right?
All right, moving on. Number 24, the Steelers. Najee Harris, best running back in the draft by far.
And you know what's amazing? They give him a grade C on this. Again, Rob, where did these people get their jobs? This guy's amazing. Like, I told the girl that was the girlfriend of one of the people I hang out with watching, the draft and during the season. And she didn't know much about it. She's a Steeler and Giant fan. And I told her last week.
It was going to be dangerous with this guy.
Yeah. No, I told her last week, the team that gets Harris has gotten the steal of the draft. And last night I got there and she was just ready to leave because she's a teacher. She had to go because it was getting late. And her boyfriend told me she wants Harris on Pittsburgh. And sure as heck, they took him. And I said to him, I go, that's because I told her last week, this guy's a steal. Whoever gets him gets a star. And he was going to go he was going to go mid-second round. Pick. Yeah. He was going to go mid-second round. Some people had him so low.
The Dolphins got him. I mean, the Dolphins could have had him.
They could have had him. And I told my friend that. I go, you guys should have took him. We should have took him. But again, Pittsburgh screws us on the pick because Pittsburgh took Ben before Buffalo did, and the Bills wanted him. They were going to take him on the next pick or whatever pick they had. And yeah. And I wanted Harris on Buffalo could really have used him. They did good, but they do need a running back, and he would have been perfect. He's amazing. You cannot stop him. Every time he hand off the ball, he's in for 6. And he jumps over people, he leapfrogs them, and he breaks tackles. There's nothing that guy can't do. He's great.
So Smart and Final just commented on your comment about where do they find these people to do this grading.
Yeah.
Putting Najee Harris so down. It's ridiculous.
Right.
He said most of professional sports administration and coaching have retreads. So what do you expect?
Absolutely. It's all a pool. They just keep research. Once you're in the pool, you're good. And you just keep getting recycled.
Pool, you're good. You just get passed around and just,
Yeah, no, that's true.
Put C down for this guy. Yeah, sure.
Totally agree.
So number 25 for the Jaguars, Travis Etienne, running back from Clemson. Great college career.
You don't like him, no, Rob.
I do not like him in the pros. I don't. Right. I think he's going to get shut down. Right. I don't think he's got the power. He's fast. He's not the fastest. And he doesn't have that power. I think he's going to get bottled up. Maybe playing with Lawrence could give him a spark, but I don't see him being anything more than, just a serviceable running back. If that, I think he's going to end up on the bench eventually.
You know what? You could be right.
I just don't see him being a high-level pro. I just don't. I think he made a mistake, staying all 4 years. He wanted to get another title, but he won one as a sophomore. And I think it cost him millions. And, I'm going with you. What you've been saying, 5 years.
5. You know what?
And you won't really hear about him anymore.
I think he's on Jacksonville because of Trevor Lawrence. Very much like Chase got picked by the Bengals because of Burrow. They
Yeah,
played together. They played
probably.
together. They played together. And he's only
And
a
that
B.
might help. That might help ETN. I don't know why. It doesn't really, but maybe that helps him a little bit. I still don't think ETN is going to be. Najee Harris, on the other hand, I think he's going to be right up there with
Oh,
the best.
I am so
He's going
angry
to
at
make a
Pittsburgh
mark.
for. I'm so angry at Pittsburgh for doing that to me, because he's great. But Pittsburgh is smart. They always know who to take. They're smart that way. They've always had a great organization. The Rooneys are amazing. They are. And
So
and
we'll see what happens with ETN.
and the
I don't know
Clemson
who the
running
current
back
running back is.
he's only a B grade. So Rob, I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't see it. I watch because I watch a lot of them play because they're in the ACC,
Mm-hmm.
and Syracuse was pretty held their own against him every time they played. But he doesn't have the power. He goes down a little too easy at it, honestly, with contact. He took advantage of the superior line.
Yeah.
He's not the advantage isn't going to be there. All those defenders are going to be freak athletes now.
Right.
I don't know. Anyways, going on to number 26 for the Browns, Greg Newsome II, a cornerback from Northwestern. So
yeah,
Cleveland likes their offense.
I'll tell you what, the Browns, and they really, if it wasn't for a bad call, they probably would have beat Kansas City. Or if Mahomes got hurt a quarter quicker.
They were right there.
Yeah, they were right there. They are a really good team. And look, the only thing I have an issue with is Baker's inconsistency. But their defense is great as it is. They got this guy. He's really good. Newsome's really good. He's a grade A player. But they also got Clowney to go with, Miles. They're going to be great.
The Browns are here. They've arrived.
They have arrived. And I love Kareem Hunt. I wanted him to stay in Kansas City. It's weird. Great. The three teams I loved the most when I was a little kid were the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Browns. For years, all of them were not very good. Then eventually the Browns and the Bills got good in the early 90s, but none of them won it. And now all three of them are really good, and they're going to battle. It was a great move. That defense is stacked. And Kareem Hunt, I thought if he'd stayed and didn't get in that trouble, and a lot of fans didn't think, he was going to come back in the league. I did. This is the second chance league. Everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets forgiven, and weirdly enough, it was the guy that picked him in Kansas City that's now in Cleveland. That's why he wanted him there. He's in Cleveland. And, he's an amazing runner. And I'll kid you not, Rob, when I read his stats, that's all I had to do with this guy. He went to Toledo. He didn't fumble, and he broke every record. He didn't fumble in 4 years. So what does he do? He goes to Kansas City. They hand off to him. He runs 10 yards. He fumbles on his first play. And I'm like, that's okay. That was a great run. I bet he doesn't fumble again. The rest, and to this day, he's not fumbled again. He's a great, great player. And they got Chubb on the other side. They're stacked. They're going to be really hard to beat. And Pittsburgh's going to have trouble. Pittsburgh's going to have trouble.
Pittsburgh is going to have trouble.
Yes, they are. And the Browns have arrived. And I love, and I am friends with Kareem Hunt's father now because I stuck up for him in that whole issue because it really wasn't his fault. There were things that went on that no one knows about. But absolutely. He's a great, great player. And that's a good team. They are a really good team. If the Baker has to get more consistent like he did in college.
I think he will. I like Baker Mayfield. I like his moxie.
Yeah.
I think he still has more room to improve. This was his third year?
Something like that. Well, he's as old as Mahomes because they played against each other in that wild 7-touchdown game. Both quarterbacks threw 7.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Right. But
so,
I love this pick. I do.
Good move.
Yes.
Browns are on the move. So next, number 27, Rashad Bateman, the wide receiver from Minnesota. So this tells me that they're all in on Lamar Jackson, Bob. They don't care what you have to say about hybrid quarterbacks. They say, we have ours, we're going to win, and we're getting him another wide receiver.
Look, Jackson's to me, he's still a running back or a wide receiver. I know he sets records, and again, I am not a fan of the mobile quarterbacks. When you make him beat you with his arm, he can't do it. He'll throw a lot of yards on you, but he can't get it. He can't finish. He can't. He's not that kind of player. And I'll tell you, I'll say the same thing about him. I don't think the Ravens will ever win a Super Bowl when he's their quarterback. I don't. And I mean, this pick is good, but if you're going to throw it on a hop, does it matter if you got a wide receiver or not? No, Donovan McNabb, don't. I remember that, when Freddie Mitchell was going, for the Eagles, throw the ball to me and you don't throw it to me enough. And then they blamed him for that. But then McNabb was throwing in the Super Bowl. I remember he threw a pass on a hop. It got to him on a hop. I'm just like, no, he's just not. He would put it this way. A couple of years ago, when Flacco was still there, 3 times they were going to put him in that playoff game. If Baltimore had pulled the trigger and done it, they would have won that game. And he couldn't move that. And he can't beat Mahomes either. Mahomes owns him. The Chiefs own him. They ain't never winning, the Ravens, until they get a better quarterback. And it's going to be really hard now because in my mind, Kansas City, Buffalo, Cleveland have all cemented the top 3 best teams in that conference. Baltimore used to be up there, but they've fallen. There's no way they can beat those 3 teams. And even if they beat 2 out of 3, they ain't beating all 3. No way. They're not doing it. Nice pick, though.
I think Lamar is going to take him. I think he's going to get to the Super Bowl. Whether he wins or not, I don't know.
Oh. You think this year? Want me to write that down?
I'd say, how about give me a little slack on this one. Within 4 years, Baltimore will make the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. I will say that they will only get there if somebody leaves them tickets.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember this show, Bob.
Yes.
4 years from now.
Yes. I don't think a lot of people will. Yes.
Yeah, we've made some statements.
We have made some statements. This is the most controversial show we ever had. Because we're the friendly show.
Easily. Yeah, we're the friendly show, but
we're the friendly show.
Now it's just you and me talking about making our opinions about things.
Picks, right.
Starting to come out. The wildfire is creeping in. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to number 28, Peyton Turner, defensive end from Houston, going to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I think the Saints aren't going to be good for a while.
No, they lost a legend. That's like trying to replace John Wooden.
Is not going to get it done. They're probably going to be like a 5-win team.
They're not even going to play him. I think they want to play Hill, I believe. I agree with you. And this guy, by the way, he's only a C grade. This Peyton Turner from Houston. I don't see it, Rob. They're just not. They're going to be hurting for a while. When you lose that kind of a legend, yeah. They're going to be hurting.
We got another comment, Bob. From Riz or Rise Taylor. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly.
Right.
He says, I know Giants fans were mad, but the Eagles traded up. So the top 3 wide receivers were gone. They got the best receiver on the board and got additional picks for it, including a 2022 first round. That's not bad business. I agree with that.
Well, I don't know if I agree with it because they could have picked a better player if they didn't trade. And how do you know who they're going to get? How do you know how good the Bears are going to be? If they're any kind of good, that's not that great a pick.
The Giants were who were they going to get? All the good quarterbacks were gone.
They didn't want a quarterback,
Rob. Giants going to get?
No, but they didn't want a quarterback.
They believe in Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they believe in him. They could have got defensive players that are really good. Their defense is not very good, and neither is their offensive line. And you know what? If Barkley can't come around with that knee, they may be have to look for another running back soon. They've got a lot of issues. And you know what?
They have issues.
I don't believe in future draft picks because just look at Danny Ainge. I mean, he had the Cleveland pick that should have been number 1. Cleveland won too many games. He had the Memphis pick that should have been number 1. They started winning too many games because they got Morant. You don't know what the future is going to hold. You got to go for it now and let the future worry about itself. That's the best way. You adjust to each situation when you get there. You can't always go, oh, that's what everybody's doing today. Oh, he's got potential. Oh, he's got an upside. He's got a ceiling. He's got a ceiling problem. You know what? Then go get somebody who fixes roofs. But don't go picking players. No, just go for the best at the time. And that's what New England always did. That's what the Yankees always did. They got the best players that year. Next year, they worried about somebody else. And they would always trade their young players to get stars. So much for these prospects. The Yankees used to do it. They would get to today stars. That's why they have the most World Series wins. That's the right way to do it.
But the only time is now. Get the stars now.
But thank you for the comment, And everybody, please call in. We love it. We do. We do.
Totally. And honestly, we'll probably be getting some of the. If we get regular commenters, we'll probably have special shows where we bring some of them on.
Sure. Sure.
So moving on, we have the 29th pick, Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia, going to Green Bay.
Yeah, you know what?
I feel Green Bay is on shaky ground right now.
Yes, they are, and I'm glad. You know what?
What's going on? Are they going to get him back? Is Aaron Rodgers going to be back?
He doesn't want to come back. They've offered him an extension because they know look, I'm gonna give it to you straight about Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, this guy's a good player. They need D. They're not very good on D. I said that all year. I said that for the last 3 years. Everybody's like, oh, their D's better. No. The referee keeps throwing the flags, especially when they're playing the lines on the pass interference and letting him win. They give Rodgers a lot of calls, but and they're phantom calls, I might add. But you know what? They did need a good D. They never really had it. Everybody bragged about it because they played good that first half of that 1 year. Yeah, but you got to play a whole season. You don't play half a season, and they bombed. And the thing about Rodgers is this: he's a pain in the neck. I was going to use another word, but I won't. And he gets coaches fired. He's a very uncoachable person. He's a great individual talent. But you know what? There's great individual talents in basketball. That means you're a one-on-one player and you're a loser. I know he won one time, but that's because that team was so great, even he couldn't blow it. But I remember another year when he was 15-1, the year the New England won all those games 18-0. People forget Green Bay was 15-1, and that guy choked at home against the Giants. Choked. You know what? He's a selfish player. He's a one-on-one player. I'm not saying Green Bay should get rid of him. I think they should ride that car for as long as they can and get their 100,000 miles out of him. But he's a pain in the neck. He's hard to get along with. He gets coaches fired. And he's a great individual talent, but he's a loser in my mind. Because a player that great should have won more than one time. And you can say whatever, well, they didn't have the team. You know what? They did have the team back then. They did win it 1 year. That team was so great, even he could mess it up. No. You should have won more than, because they had that team for more than 1 year. They should have won. No. That guy there's something about him that just has loser written all over it. You can be a great individual player, still be a loser. The NBA has been loaded with those players since before I was born. And they're still in the league, and now they're in the league more than they've ever been. And people turn around and go, oh, the league's better than, no, it stinks. The league hasn't been good since the 90s, and it was better in the 80s. And they could all run, jump, dunk, and play above the rim, and they were better shooters, and they knew the game, and the centers were real centers, and there were great players on every team, even in the 70s. You know nothing, ESPN.
Every team.
Nothing. You think you do. You think Michael Jordan and LeBron are the only two people that ever lived. Jabbar was better than both of them. And so was Bill Russell. Grow up. Havlicek was more clutch than both of them. He won 8 years in a row. Grow up. You're lying. With that, you're just dumb. And I worked there for 2 years, and I know there was a lot of dumb ones there. Same thing in football. Aaron Rodgers is a pain in the ass. Oh, forgive me, Lord. But he is. And you know what? He's the best player on your team and the worst player at the same time. And when he goes, are they going to be hurting for a while, quarterback? Yeah, because he's individually a really great talent. He's got that. But in the long run, once they retool and rebuild, they're going to be better off. I'm not saying trade him for a lesser quarterback or a lesser player, because I think they should ride his, get your, like my dad used to say, get your 100,000 miles out of that car, or 200,000. Today it's like 300,000 because the cars are better. But yeah.
Well, Bob, I mean, if Tua needs a little more maturation time, I'd be happy to take Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
On the Dolphins.
I'm sure you would.
Aaron,
I didn't say he wasn't a great individual talent.
Aaron Rodgers, hear me out. You have been in Green Bay for all these winters. with
Yeah.
this team for your whole career.
Right.
South Florida is a hell of a lot nicer in the winter, so you could kind of bring up Tua and you as a mentor,
Right.
and ride off into the sunset in beautiful South Florida.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, Aaron Rodgers, they're waiting for you.
Why not, Rob? Everybody else retires in Florida.
Exactly. Why not?
But you know what? It's funny because you said you'd rather have him than Tua, and you're so high on Tua. And I'm not high on Tua.
I did not say that. I said he would be a good mentor to allow Tua more maturation.
Mentor? He'd be down here. He would not be sitting the bench or Miami. He would not.
No, I would start Rodgers and then 3 years or so.
Right.
4 years, then you bring Tua.
Right.
Tua's only like what, 21? Is he even 21 yet? He's a baby.
He is. That's true, and he did have that injury.
Yeah,
which is a really bad injury, actually.
Sophomore, I think. So he's like 21, maybe.
Right. You know what?
Anyways, yeah.
Rodgers is great. I'm not saying he's not, but like I'm saying, ride that car for as long as you can because he's a pain in the neck, and because you're paying him so much, you're stopping, paying other players that you can have in positions. He should take a pay cut if he's any kind of a decent guy. Look at Brady. He took pay cuts. Why? Because he's got money. His wife's got more money than him. He doesn't care about that. He wants to win because that's what winners do. That's the difference between a winner and a loser. Yeah.
And as we saw this year at Green Bay, Brady beat him head on.
Yeah, that's right. Again, the coward shows us why didn't he run that ball in, instead of trying to force that throw? Why? At home, again, they choked again. Brady's great. He went in there and he messed up everybody. He messed up Breeze, who at times, and as great as he is, whenever he plays against somebody like Brady, he kind of shrivels. And I love Breeze. I loved him at Purdue. He used to go. Great. Oh yeah, you know what? You were never the same because you never got him. You should have took him.
Don't remind me, Bob.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? And I got to tell you, what was San Diego back then? They were San Diego. Why were they so interested in getting rid of him and getting Rivers? I like Rivers. He's solid. But you know what? He wasn't Drew Brees. He wasn't great. No, Drew Brees was great. And they made that ridiculous, somebody jumped on his shoulder. I remember he separated the shoulder. I had a friend separated his shoulder he used to play basketball with, pretty bad. But he just let it get healed, and it healed itself. And San Diego knew it. And Miami, I would have fired their team doctors right away. Because they knew it too. He could have played down there, and they said, nope, he's too much of a health risk. So New Orleans said, come play with us. Come play with us.
Earmuffs.
Yeah,
Earmuffs. I know. No more.
I know. But he's great. But Brady's better than all of those guys. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I think Brady will come on the show soon after me saying that. But you know what? Rodgers will never come on. Look.
Open invite, Tom Brady.
Oh, today, like now, we'd have.
Right now, give us a call.
Give us a call. But yeah, let's be real about this. I'm tired of everybody just coming up with their own crazy ideas and just thinking out of the box. Look, thinking out of the box is good if it's a good thought, not if it's just thinking out of the box to be different. Because then all of a sudden you deserve to be in a box, like in the insane asylum, because you're too far out of the box. It's crazy. I mean, no, let's just get it right and tell the truth. ESPN doesn't tell the truth. They're all hype. It's ridiculous. I hate it. Hate it.
Yeah, it's it doesn't seem to be the quality product it used to be. I'll just
no. Oh, by the way, Stokes is a quality player. He's great at that for Green Bay.
So speaking of doing the right thing, did the Bills do the right thing with Greg Rousseau?
Miami? Yeah, you know what? We can actually skip. You know what? They didn't put the Bills one up here. How about that? No, we did a great look. I wanted the running back. I wanted Harris. But this guy in Miami is an absolute monster. He's 6'6". He's big and strong. He tackles every quarterback on earth, even the one sitting on the bench. He's just great. It was a great move. They needed a little bit of an upgrade on D because for years they had the best D in the league. They just didn't have the quarterback of the offense. Now they do. I still want them to get a running back, though. And I hope they address that in the next round tonight. But
All right.
they,
So
they
the
needed
Bills
a
defense
position
is not
guy, and they got the right guy. This guy's an A plus plus. He's great. He went to Miami University. He's great. I love that pick. The
all
Bills are
right.
going to be
Two
really
more to
tough to
go.
beat. Yep.
Another edge player, Jason Owe. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. For the Ravens, edge player out of Penn State.
Mm-hmm. You want to take this one around?
I think it's a good move. I think the Ravens defense needs a little touch up. Um, they can't just rely on Lamar, even though I know you don't believe he's a winner.
Right.
Um, they need to get stops, especially when you're looking at the gauntlet they have to deal with AFC
Mhm.
now. You got to be able to stop Tannehill and Derrick Henry. You got to be able to do something about Mayfield and the receivers. Bring the heat. So I think this is a good move on the Ravens' part. I think that it gives them an upgrade on defense that's needed.
Yeah.
And
They didn't have a good
I
pass
still
rush.
think the Ravens are contenders until proven otherwise. I mean, they made it the second game of the playoffs this year? They won a playoff game, right?
Yeah, they did. Um, they they lost to the Bills. I believe they did, but they did win the
They
one
lost.
game.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Um,
So the final pick of the first round of the draft. Yes, Bob.
I was going to say about him.
Say something.
Yeah, the Ravens didn't have a good pass rush, so he's a B grade. I guess this late in the first round, fine. But like I said, it comes down to the quarterback, and they never win as long as he's there. So
And last but not least, the 32nd pick of the first round, Joe Tryon, I believe.
yeah,
Tryon.
from Washington.
That's what
Yeah,
it looks like.
they
I'm
got him as a
totally
B
fumbling
grade.
names.
I'll tell you
Edge
what.
out of Washington.
If I'm this guy,
And going to Bay.
yeah, Tampa Bay. If I'm this guy, I'd be like dancing. I'd be dancing in the street because he's just happy to be there. Bowles is a great defensive coordinator, and I mean, yeah, he'll be fine there. That's just one more guy they got, and Tom Brady. He's going to Tom
Do you
Brady.
think Tampa's going to be good again? Another contender year?
Who?
Do you think Tampa's a contender again? Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I think they. I don't know if they'll do what they did, but as long as Tom Brady's there, I wouldn't put nothing. I never put anything past that man. So
No, you can't.
You can't. And he's just this guy's got to be overjoyed to be there because there's just one more guy you got to worry about on D. And of course everybody will want to come play with Brady because he's Tom. These guys that never won it that were great players, like Antonio Brown. Oh, I want to go play with him. Okay. So yeah, greatness attracts great people and great things around them. So the Bucks are the Bucks. Is it going to be as easy for them? No, because they're not going to have that game at home, which means a lot. Having a home game, especially in the Super Bowl, means a lot during the regular season, let alone a Super Bowl. So yeah,
but they had to win every game in the playoffs on the road.
On the road, right? And that's why he's great. Because you know what the difference between great is and just okay or not great? It's the players that win the tough road games. And all the great players can do it. The rest of them can't. Or they only do it once now and then. I think that's Allen's problem in Buffalo. I never really seen him win a tough road game. He couldn't go to Kansas City and win. And the year before, I think Tennessee beat him in Tennessee in the first round game. So, no, I got issues with that. In order to be great, you have to be great on the road. You have to be. That's what makes you a superstar. And Brady's going. He can win in your backyard if you want. He can win anywhere. So, yeah.
Name the place. Name the time. Brady's
coming. You pick the place. We'll come and win. That's it. And the Super Bowl's in Los Angeles this coming year. So they got to go a long way. I don't know if they'll do what they did. They don't got to worry about New Orleans anymore. Green Bay, then they may not have to worry about them because Aaron Rodgers caused so much problems. I think they can walk right in there and do it again. Although this time, if they play Kansas City, it's going to be a lot closer. Trust me. Kansas City may beat them this time. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
So there you have it, folks. That's the first round here on the Sports Show with Bob Spino. Any closing thoughts before we go, Bob?
I like the draft. I I'm angry at Pittsburgh because they did it again. They got the best player. He's great. Harris is great. Um, it should be interesting to see how it pans out, and it's going to be interesting to see what goes on in the second and the third. Kansas City hasn't picked yet, and they got 2 picks in the second round. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. They've restructured their offensive line to protect Mahomes. I still think they can use another running back because they got rid of Williams, and they really don't have a backup. And they need a wide receiver because they lost their wide receiver. So from Clemson, he went to Baltimore, I believe. So the guy was in Buffalo. I can't think of his name offhand, but they did lose him, and so they need another wide receiver, and they need another running back, and they probably could use a defensive player, which I think they'll get in the second round. But they need a pass rusher to go with Jones. But it was a good first round. A lot of teams got what they wanted. Some teams got what they needed. Some teams bombed, like always. I do think the Jets are going to be better than you think. The quarterback's going to be pretty good. I do like Mac Jones going to New England. The Jets did okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good draft, That's what I think. But
yeah, I agree. Overall, I think picks were well made. I do.
Right.
Really do.
Except for the Chicago Bears. They bombed. Fields are going to bomb. Yep.
Well, remember this show, folks. We made our statements. We declared, and there you have it. Stay tuned. Remember to like and subscribe as always.
Yeah, especially subscribe. Especially subscribe. We need subscriptions.
Especially subscribe. More guests are coming, and it's really gonna take off. Bigger guests are coming.
Yes,
so,
yes. We have football people coming on this coming week after the draft's over. We actually have a few more baseball people, and we are going to. Where are we going in July, Rob?
We're going to Cooperstown, folks. We're going to do a live special in Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame for Derek Jeter's induction. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be scheduled. Subscribers, pay attention. Take note. We're going to set that up for a scheduled thing so you know what the day and time it's going to take place. Hopefully we get some stars on there for that. We might make it a marathon deal. We'll see how it goes. But we will be live at Cooperstown July 25th. That's a Sunday. Derek Jeter's induction takes place. And Spartan Final, you left a couple of nice comments. Tom Brady proved he's the best quarterback ever. Agreed. Right. Andy Reid was Spartan Finals high school classmate. Too bad he doesn't remember you. Yeah, totally.
You know what? We're getting him on too because I got to make a call and try to get him on. He's going to be on next week.
Yeah, we are going to get Andy Reid on. So yes. You definitely want to stay tuned to that Spartan Final.
Right.
Anyways, so with that, closing the sports show with Bob Spino. Signing off, this is Rob.